Hey guys, Matt LaRosiere here with Firearms Policy Coalition, bringing you another weekly update, just to make sure you have all of the latest information on everything affecting your right to keep and bear arms. First up this week, we have a petition from the family of George Floyd to the United Nations. They're seeking their assistance in demilitarizing the police and establishing procedures for police oversight. Now, I don't disagree that our police need serious reform, but I sure as hell don't want the UN's help. Permitting this would be a breach of national as well as state sovereignty. The UN is also notoriously impotent, so the Floyd family and everyone seeking reforms in policing would be better off focusing on reform through our own government. Not to mention the fact that the feds are involved enough. Do we really want another layer of government on top? I certainly don't. In Connecticut, a federal judge has issued a preliminary injunction requiring Connecticut to resume taking people's fingerprints in order to complete their firearms background checks. Now, collection of those fingerprints was suspended under the governor's COVID emergency order. While I think that the fingerprint submission is a ridiculous, unnecessary, and overly burdensome requirement, I'm glad the people of Connecticut will at least be able to get their needed arms soon. In Prince George's County, Maryland, the school board is considering a proposal which would eliminate the county school resource officers, the cops that provide armed security for each school. Instead of using that $5 million for school police, the money would go to social services and mental health care providers. In New York, legislators are pushing a new Senate bill that would give doctors the power to decide whether or not you should be able to own a gun. The law would set up a division to process standardized forms filled out by your doctor. Well, the problem is that many doctors are opposed to gun ownership, so this is basically a way for the government to prevent you from exercising your rights without being directly responsible for the denial. New York should probably check itself before it legally wrecks itself. On the West Coast, we're seeing some absolutely wild news coming out of Seattle, where anarcho-communists have established an autonomous zone. In came Raz, an armed local who has quickly established himself, and at the same time, store owners in Spokane are complaining about militias patrolling the streets to fend off potential looting. Last but not least, the police in Winnipeg, Canada have discovered something shocking. No, not an alternative to Tim Hortons, it's a big, bad, scary ghost gun. Specifically, they found a printed AR-15 lower. Terrifying, I know. I had to. Of course, their conclusion was that the only reason somebody would want to print guns is to circumvent the law. I mean, also, these are only recently illegal thanks to King Trudeau. If this is shocking, wait until they get a load of the FGC-9 and all of the other goodies being churned out by the 3D gun community. Well, that's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to know more, check out fbcnews.org, where you can find this week's edition and information on our legal and legislative efforts. You'll find links to all the stories we've discussed. If you think this content would be important to anyone you know, help us spread the word and tag them in the comments. If you want to join the fight with us, go to fbcaction.org and take action. If you think this work is important, you can support us there too. Every little bit makes a huge difference. As always, keep your eyes on Firearms Policy Coalition, where we're keeping up the fight for all of your rights all the time. I've been Matt LaRosiere, and I'll see you real soon.